Good morning, everybody. You can see my hay trailers right here behind me. No truck. Guess why? Dun, 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 dun. First time to hook that truck on that old trailer. We're gonna haul a bunch of cold cows and some cold bulls to the sale barn tomorrow. So we're gonna take that rig right there so we don't have to take a whole bunch of little truck and trailer loads. There are some tires that are bad on this trailer, so we need to swap around some tires. Also, Jake the mechanic's coming today to work on a project that we haven't shown you because it's just a bummer project. It's not one of those want to, it's one of those have to. The feed truck that we feed all of the cattle with every morning, the clutch went out weeks ago. We do have a goofy system of making it work and giving that thing a little nudge with the skid steer and then grinding it into gear and then making a full serpentine lap and then parking it back. So we've been able to keep feeding with it. You just can't stop and go and stop and go. You make one continuous round. Jake's coming today. We're gonna hopefully be dropping the transmission and pulling that clutch out, and hopefully we can get that thing put back together pretty soon because we're feeding lots of cattle with it. But he's got to deal with some stuff with his burnt down shop this morning, and then he'll be out here to help us. So we're gonna get cattle fed, get some tires swapped on this trailer, and then when he gets here we'll go to work on the clutch of the feed truck. Okay, here we are. Manuel is gonna give me a little push. I'm gonna put this thing down into the low granny gear. The clutch is non-existent right now. Gives me a little bump. Already in gear, just like that. Now we're off at a snail's pace. As long as we plan our route just right and don't get stopped up somewhere, we can feed the whole route and come back without ever stopping. If we stop, we'll have to get another push. We're gonna open up the door there. Open it about to the 2, maybe 2.5 for this first pen. Right in there should be good. Looks like they're happy to see me. I got what you're looking for. Flip that switch. Second here, we got to go back to the left and make it through that front gate without ripping it down.
.46 clean for Daxton and Rio.
Hey everybody, look, it's raining. Mama and most of the kids went to Las Vegas to the state football game. Got to go support that quarterback, you know. Anyways, but me and Rhett stuck around and we're hauling some cattle down here onto the desert. Since it's raining, we're gonna get a few of them out of the yard and hope for the best. So like always, I'm doing a horrible cameramanning job, but I just wanted to stop in and say, yes, it's raining. And here we are, putting some cattle out down here on the winter range. This is our second load. There's the first load. Just gonna let them kind of pair up and settle up here in this water lot for a minute, and then we'll throw the gates open and let them out to the desert. This second load was a little lighter, a little looser, and they unloaded a lot easier. Boy, I fought the first load trying to get them off of there. Whoop, one last little guy. The little one stopped to take a pee and there. Yeah. How about my high-tech unloading into their operation? Can you believe I just snuck 2 loads of cattle by that giant hole right there? You see a little dry dirt coming up through, but it's soaking in pretty good. Decent little storm. Pretty nice little storm. Hey everybody, a lot is happening. We got Rance and Ryler loaded with 16 tubs. We got Mom loaded with 2 bales. We got the 6-door truck, dead battery. That's Sissy's fault. I'm gonna go weld on some corrals while my water truck's filling, and then we're gonna go everywhere. Yep, that truck is trying to give CPR to this truck. I don't think it's been on there long enough. We'll give it a try. Not gonna happen. Nope. Just unhook it. We'll worry about this later. You can just unhook it and go. You know your hood latch, that's your hood latch if you need to get to your engine, but you won't need to get to your engine. It's been running for 35 years. It'll run the rest of the day. All right, have fun. Some welding problems that I'm going to show you. It's been keeping me awake at night actually, and so right now that's why I'm sending the rest of the family to go do chores around the ranch, and I've got to try to stop this problem that's happening. Hopefully Mama don't get going too fast with that load. It's another one with no frenos. Okay, getting all geared up and into business. Had to pull over here by Rio and Riley's rodeo and trailer. You can see when we send them on the rodeo trip, they've got other things on their list. So they brought a bunch of acetylene, oxygen. One of the new tanks they just got on here. So we got a new tank. Got something else new and fancy. Cheap Amazon electrode holder. This old thing's been having to have an old rod butt in there to be able to hold it because the springs broke. It's been arcing on everything. Gonna replace that hunk of junk with that. Let's go. No worries. There's one thing I learned from MacGyver. See, that's what I used to watch back in the 80s when I was a little kid, MacGyver. That was my favorite show. MacGyver would have loved this tool. So much better than the Swiss. Try to show you what. Oh baby, it's gonna be nice. All right. Okay, I'm gonna show you the problem. Got a bunch of our bulls. There's a few other cows and stuff mixed in, but mostly this is some new bulls, some young bulls. Got a bunch of bulls in here that we're feeding at this manger. Okay, and as they're eating at this manger, they're always pushing on this here cable. Well, over at the post, check. As they push and pull on that cable, it is cutting through that steel pipe post. You see, there's a pretty good cut there. Well, down here where they're eating more and pushing more, I'm gonna show you how bad it's getting. Each one of these posts is getting cut. Hey, bulls. Here, bulls. Some of these posts down here, you can see that is cut almost in half from that cable going in and out of that. But I've got a game plan. Here's the idea. Got a little chunk of rebar tied on the back of my trailer over there. And I'm just gonna cut a little, maybe a 4-inch chunk of rebar and weld it right there to, like my finger is right now, stop that from going in that hole. That cable's gonna have to cut all the way through that rebar before it can go back to work trying to cut my post off. And this is the reason I'm laying awake at night. Every night I'm just imagining that going further and further and eventually cutting every one of these posts off and the fence falling over. So I'm gonna try to remedy that a little bit right now. Slow you guys down from trying to cut the fence down and get out of here. Look at all them good looking bulls. We got little boys and kind of big boys, really big boys. Huh. How about you? Huh? I want to stop you from trying to cut that post off there, big fella. Manuel, he's hard at work over here straightening things up. We'll go show him. Sí, esto está casi completamente cortado.
No, no, y si no lo arregla, pues lo van a de este. Yo por eso arreglé estas dos patas para acá, porque son menos, no está tan.
Sí.
Y ya nomás, de este para allá no las acomodo la factura, porque nomás le estoy arreglando las que se están metiendo.
Oh, esto aquí. Yo. No bueno.
No, pues por eso se salen. Por eso se salen. Yo desde la otra vez dije, pues, ¿por dónde se salen? Pues dije, no. Hasta que me...
All right, so you can see why that's keeping me awake at night. It is a serious problem, but I've been putting it off. Oh, something to do. But today's the day. We got to do it. Otherwise, them posts, you can see that they're going to be cut completely off. So I'm going to fire up the torch, cut me some little old chunks of this rebar that I dragged over here. I think just like little 4-inch chunks, and just weld them vertically on there to protect that. So we'll see how that goes. Might at least buy us some time. All right, this is Nelson. Nelson is Manuel's grandson. Nelson, have you ever seen the YouTube show Anchor Brand Ranch? Yes. You have seen it. Well, today you're going to be on the show. Want to be my helper?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You want to be Anchor Brand Ranch cameraman for a second?
Yeah.
Oh, it's easy. Green one is oxygen. Black one is acetylene gas. Both of them are dangerous. Be careful. First, we're going to turn on a little bit of the gas that comes through the red. You hear it hissing out of there. Usually got a proper striker. I got one somewhere. Light that baby up. Add a little oxygen to it. Okay, tip's plugged up. When little boys use the tip, it's plugged up. I have to put a new tip on it. I'll heat that up so it's nice and warm. Once it's warm, you press this down, it adds a little more oxygen. And it's cut right through there. Like butter. What I'm about to do is cut a handful of little 4-inch pieces. I'll show you why in a second. And keep it close, but don't touch. If you stick the tip of that down in that melted metal, that's what plugs up those holes in the tip, then it don't cut very good. All right, here goes Nelson. I'm gonna cut a few of those. We're gonna need a whole bunch of those little 4-inch pieces. Go ahead. Hold it nice and close don't press that lever yet. Leave the lever up and put the little blue flame right on the steel. Once it turns red, then squeeze the lever and cut slowly. There you go. A little closer. Put the tip of that little blue flame, put that right on the steel, and then it'll preheat it. Once it's glowing red, squeeze it down and cut it off. All right, now you're a pro. Go ahead and cut that whole thing up into little pieces like that. I'm gonna get this welder started up. All right, string this stuff all out here and get ready to weld something. All right, one of the most important things before I even fire up this welder. See this big black bucket? Notice, we're welding by straw near a very expensive barn full of hay. Not good, not good. There's nothing good about that. So we're gonna fill this bucket with water and keep close track of any sparks and try not to burn the world down. So, yeah. dip me a little bucket full of fireproof water. Looks like it would be a good day for fishing. That's the Anchor Brand Ranch fishing hole right there. We got gold ones, we got white ones. We got big ones and little ones. But we're not fishing today. We're welding. And we're welding in the hay, so we'll get us just one bucket of water. Could save our whole barn full of hay. Annie, the bay horse right there. I bought that horse with my life savings when I was in 8th grade. You can tell by these white whiskers. 8th grade was a long time ago. That old gal's been with me a long time. Actually, really appreciate a good horse or a dog, or the few humans that have stuck with all the hectic years. She's been a good one for sure. Not easy to stick with, I promise. Okay, you saw it in Nelson. I showed him one time and he chopped up that whole pile of rebar. So now we're gonna fire up this welder. Your next job, Wilson, did you see that bucket of water I just brought?
Yes.
What do you think that bucket of water is for?
Gold.
Fire control. Look, we're gonna be welding around all of that straw. And all of the straw is near that humongous barn full of hay. If we screw up, bad news. So we're gonna keep an eye on all the little sparks and fires and don't let anything get going. That's what that water's for. Nelson's the fireman. Let's go. This welder doesn't have an on-off switch, so we just turn the gas on and off. So we got the gas on. Gonna give it a little good morning spray of ether. See how she does. Come on, baby, come on. Oop. It's having a cold morning. Dang it. Don't worry. Don't worry, we'll get it to go somehow. Starter might need a little wake-up call. See if that will fit it. Nelson's been hanging around here for about a week and he's figured out everything here on Anchor Brand Ranch is a bunch of old hunk of junks, huh, Nelson?
Yeah.
You've seen that by now.
Doesn't want to turn on.
Yeah, well, I got a crowbar and a can of ether and I say I want it to turn on. I do not know what the deal is with it. It doesn't like a good cold morning. It likes warm weather a little better, but try again. It's gonna work this time. Come on, you hunk of junk. Beat it enough. Nelson?
Mid.
Your dad does some welding,
Yeah.
right? Dad can do it, you can do it. Kids do everything better than their dads, I know, because I'm a dad of a lot of kids. Kids can always do it better. douse it. Okay, I'll show you. My theory is sound, my welding is garbage. I gotta go find some other rod. I need some 6011. They say a farmer can weld with 6011. If a farmer can do it, I can do it. Whatever this is that I'm using, I can't weld with it. So you can see the weld is not pretty, but that's gonna stop that cable from cutting in there. I don't know how long it would take that cable to cut through. I might put another piece of rebar on the other side, then it would have to cut through two of them. Think that's a good idea, Nelson? Nelson agrees we should put a piece over here on the other side as well. And then that cable would have to cut through two pieces of rebar to ever start cutting back into that post. So we'll do. We'll put another one on there. Wondering what this rod that we're playing with is actually supposed to be used for. So somebody that knows, tell us what this rod's really good for. It doesn't focus. AWS E 3091-16. Whatever that is, that's what we're using. I'm gonna go switch for some 6011 here in a minute.
Yeah. It's too much heat.
I'm embarrassed of the way that weld looks, so I'm gonna pause for a minute and go find some 6011. It'll make me look like less of an amateur, but you can see that that's gonna solve the problem we've got. Save the day. So it's good, but it's ugly. Got me a box here with a little bit of 6011 in it. It's not that much, so hopefully I can get most of this done with what I got here. I better get on Amazon.com and order up some more boxes of Hobart 6011. Nelson, he's pro running the cutting torch now. Got us a whole pile of them chunks of metal. Getting it there, Nelson?
Yeah.
So Nelson's been here for what? You've been here like 2 weeks, Nelson? Been here dang near 2 weeks. He's been teaching his grandpa how to work. Is he doing pretty good? Getting him lined out? You gotta go home pretty soon, huh?
Yeah.
Nelson's gotta go back home down to Arizona, but I guess he's got his grandpa trained. So Manuel speaks Spanish, I speak English. Luckily Nelson speaks both, so he's been helping me out a little bit here, learning my Espanol.
Yeah.
It's not too great, is it, Nelson? Okay, we got a new welder on the ranch. First time, Nelson, or have you done it before? First time? You got this. Grab your stinger, clamp it in there. Alright, I was kind of bragging earlier that I could make it look good with the 6011. I don't know how good it looks. I'm gonna quit bragging, but you can see that it's gonna do what it was intended and stop that from cutting through inside that cable. Squeeze the little handle, dump that thing out, clamp your new one in. There you go. All right, touch the end to it. Just strike it lightly like you're striking a match. Touch it, then back it up a little bit. Maybe the ground clamp's not touching. I'll work on that. Oh yeah. Here's your problem, Nelson. It's not hooked up. Now it's gonna work. Now try. Oh yeah. Okay, the little fix-up project there went well. I'll probably be able to sleep at night for a while now. I assume that over time that cable is gonna wear on those little pieces of rebar that I just put in and maybe eventually cut through them. But from as long as that fence has been up, and that is kind of light, thin-walled pipe posts right there, so it wasn't much to cut through it. I'm hoping the rebar we just put up will give us some years before we have to worry about that problem again. Maybe by then I'm building a whole new fancy drill pipe and concrete feedlot. I don't know. Anyway, that project's over. I feel good about that. On to the next one. If you've been around the Anchor Brand Ranch YouTube channel for a long time, you kind of know the drill. And I haven't done very many water hauling videos because my own brother told me once, man, you got to put something besides water hauling on your YouTube videos. No one wants to watch that every day. But we haul a lot of water, especially in the wintertime, a bunch of our winter range. We've got these tanks, we call them water hauls. And here's the program. Right here at the house, we got a fill up spot. We fill this truck up and make lots of runs out on the desert here, watering cows. So that's what I'm about to do right now. For any of you who maybe are new to the channel and have not seen a bunch of water hauling videos, come along, I'll show you what the program is here. It's great fun. So it's easy to tell when the tank's full, overflowing. It's usually always trying to spring a leak somewhere, or always patching it with the welder. Got a little leak there, but such is life. Mama came and shut this off for me a second ago, so it's off here. She should have shut it off here too. Undo it here. This is hard to do one-handed. Need a cameraman. Need a dang cameraman. All right, camera's going in my pocket. Okay, got that unhooked. Had to have two hands for that. The truck is a beat up old California Kenworth with a Cummins big cam in there. Nothing fancy, but pretty dang reliable. All right, don't make a liar out of me, come on. Shouldn't have said anything. You'll start every time if you don't see nothing. One time I say this truck's reliable, it ain't even gonna start. I swear that's the kind of luck I have. I say something about this truck starting good. That was the worst starting it's done in a year. But it's going. Door don't close. Put a little air and roll on. Pulling up here to a water haul that we call West Bench. And it's been dry for a long time. But I saw a few cows in this area the other day, so I want to make sure they've got a drink of water if they want one. I'm going to pull right up alongside that tank. Hopefully that's about right. That'll do. Put the big hose down inside the empty tank. Throw the lever open. Away she goes. From this tank, water comes down to a
Watch out!